fucking happening. You guys are getting a video on fucking Sunday. Alright, so today's topic of the day is going to be basically debunking law of attraction manifestation ideas. Keep in mind, specifically more of the non-occult side of manifestation. Now, when you talk to some of these people and you try to question down their ideas, it will usually funnel itself down to a few things, and I mentioned one of them in the last video, and that is the idea that the unconscious can't tell truth from false. And I would like to make a point that sometimes the conscious mind doesn't know true from false. These people will make the unconscious mind into a separate entity, and they'll each add flair to fit whatever, I don't want to say agenda, because these people aren't actively trying to, these people don't think they're wrong. As we went over in the last video, you don't hit your beliefs, you hit your facts. These people are just like any normal preacher that you see at church, other than, the scammy ones. But they were just raised, and they've come to the best conclusions that they could based off of what they've been given, and that's what they've gone with. Now, I'm here on the other side because there just isn't a lot of it. They make it to where, if it's that feeling, that's a big important part of it. If you feel like you will get the job, it will get you the job or help you get the job. It's all this feeling, belief, and faith, which we know can get us into some fucking trouble. Which we'll go over a separate video of how faith and things like that can get us in trouble. There's plenty of stuff to find out. There's plenty of death by pseudoscience, I can promise you that. But that's not even the far reach I was going to. Death definitely wasn't. But these things can fuck us up. In the last video, I said it's like a fine chalice of. I said wine. I meant to say poison, but it hinders growth, and that's something that should be very important. And the thing about these manifestation cults, these perspective cults, is what I like to call them. They're based on four things, mainly. Four things that I've found, and funny enough, 4 is the number of manifestation. Now, the first thing, that being mindset and perspective. That's going to be one bracket, because when it comes to law of attractioners and trying to pin down and understand this theory better, there's not really a good demarcation line between the two, and depending on who you're talking to, it's defined differently. And so we're going to bunch it up just because, that's what they do. The second one is intent. And now, it can go a few ways, because depending on your problem, you either intend it, and the thing that you wanted happens, therefore your intent worked. See, keep in mind, this is going off of the basis of law of attraction being real. Just this. So you intend it, the situation happens, it happened because you intended it. If it doesn't happen, you either didn't intend it hard enough, or it wasn't part of your true intent, your true self, your higher self, whatever they want to add into it. As I said, they'll do flair. It's very different, but they all say and basically mean the same things, but they just use different language about it. Maybe I should make a chart. One day I might actually make a fucking chart, and we'll just have all spiritual terms just like webbed up. It'd be a nice project to work on, actually. But the thing about this is, what about all the good things that happen that are kind of like surprises in my life? What about the things that happen that you don't intend, but you're like, wow, I'm glad that happened? Where'd that come from? Now, if something doesn't happen, other than it not being a part of your true intent, or you didn't intend it hard enough, they'll either blame it on one of the other parameters that you just didn't have down. Like, oh, your mindset was just not in the right place. What a weak force that, because we can be controlled by this force, but wielded at the same time, yet it's so weak that it could just be plummeted by a bad mindset, which they can never point out exactly what the mindset is, because even if the person was like, no, this is my mindset exactly, there's just something wrong. Preachers pull this same type of bullshit. If you grew up in really small churchy environments where, if you ever had a serious question, you didn't even think it was a bad question as a kid. You questioned, they'd pull you aside. They didn't want that shit in front of the congregation. Either way, it's funny that, I want to add something, it's funny that they do blame things on wrong mindsets when they can't even tell the own flaws in theirs. But moving on from that. Now, the third thing, what was the third thing? Oh yeah, it was emotion, feeling, belief. Those get branched into 3. Something along these lines. Let's forget all the ways that any guru or teacher or any expert in the field could twist you with this. We're gonna just step onto the side and attack this parameter at the fucking source. Now, a lot of them will think they're so clever, saying, well, if someone asks you, well, why can't you win the lottery? And they'll go on to say, it is an instant. Or actually, no, they say, actually, they do say that, but we're going to go another route, and then we'll go back to this route. But they'll say, well, you didn't believe it hard enough, or, if you can't believe, or you can't feel as if that happened. You've never won the lottery. You don't know what that feels like. This is absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. And I'll debunk it right now. Now, not everybody's going to relate to this, but maybe you'll believe me. Maybe you'll take my word that people have experienced this. But if you haven't, just take my word for it. Have you ever gone to go sit down, and next thing you know, your ass is on the fucking floor? Why'd that happen? Well, guess what? Some jackass pulled that chair out from under you. I'm pretty sure this has happened to like 99% of people that are going to be watching this video. But if you want to be a back skeptic back at me, like, oh, well, actually, just piss off. But you believed, if you could go over 100%, shit, I'd say you believed 110% that you were about to sit down in that chair. That chair was right there. Why didn't it manifest? Oh, well, they pulled it. You couldn't. Well, I thought manifestation could work through other people's wills. How does getting the job work when someone else is working actively towards it too? And what if they're using the law of attraction? How do you influence that? See, why did my over excessive amount of belief and faith that chair was there, why did that not cause the person to just change their mind on wanting to pull it out from under me? There seems to be no answer for that. And so, no. It's not about you just didn't believe hard enough. That's something that preachers pull, and I've never found a good analogy against that until I started to basically think about... Sorry, the Ableton shut off for a second. But I could never come up with a good analogy until I started noticing these people doing it. And it wasn't until I was thinking about, well, wait a second. If it's based upon believing just like high enough, because preachers don't actually say that. They don't say, well, you didn't believe as if it happened, because preachers don't use that language. Law of attractioners use that language. And I just showed how it's bullshit. And as I was saying about the whole instant thing, let's just apply that to the chair analogy. Why didn't the chair manifest? Well, it doesn't happen that instantly. It's got to happen farther. And in another video, we're going to go on about the occult side of manifestation, where they add a special rule about forgetting. It doesn't happen until you forget, so that wouldn't work for that. That's why we're talking about law of attraction or manifestation. But don't worry, we're going to go over as many ideas about manifestation as I can. But they'll say back to the chair analogy, it doesn't work instantly like that. But at the same time, if you hang around any of these forums or Facebook pages that they hang out on, anytime an instant manifestation happens, they fucking fly to it as proof. It's proof. So which is it? Now, let me get on a tangent here. Now I know nothing's perfect. But you would think that when pointing out flaws and things like this and questioning the simple things, because people get really ticked off when you question the simple things, and if it's simple, why can't you just explain it? But you would think that a lot of these people would want to look at these flaws and start getting down in the nitty-gritty and figuring out what's going on to try to harden this art better so we can master it better, so that we're not hoping on a good or bad result and just rolling fucking dice. We can know how to do it. We can go heat the dice up in the oven and we know it'll hit 6 every time. Almost every time. But you don't get people that will want to figure out what's actually going on. There's a few out there. There's a few. They still do have some biased reasoning behind the type of data that they want to pull out, but it's a little bit better than most of the people that you interact with, because on the majority, they're like religious people. They get really cranky and pissy, and they just give you the same bullshit. Their beliefs feel attacked, and then they're It's insanity. Even back when I was an occultist, I tried not to be like that, because that's the thing. I wanted to be able to explain it. I'm gonna mention. Let me get on a second tangent here, a second mini tangent, because I already had planned a second tangent. But either way, we got tangent 2.5. When I was emailing Freighter Xavier and I was trying to figure out, how can we put this magic theory together, and he just asked me, why do you care what the skeptics think? And that's the thing. A lot of people think like him. A lot of people do. A lot of people think, who cares what this guy... I cared what the skeptic thought, because they were like the gatekeepers of like proving and debunking things. Like, I believed in magic. I wanted to figure things out in a way that we could get down to it and actually get people the results they fucking want, because who wouldn't want that? But some people out there don't care. Like Freighter Xavier. They really don't care. If you believe, I'm willing to work with you. Now into the next tangent that I had planned, like pre-mid talk at the beginning of this video. A lot of people will be like, manifestation is just like prayer. That's why prayer works and this and that. Because they have to add in everything that looks like the same thing that they're doing, because if they start debunking the other ones, it's going to kind of like put holes in their own sort of deal. And the thing about this is, if you're going to say manifestation works, it's why prayer works. It's like the same thing. Which prayer? To whom? Because a lot of it's contradictory and very conflicting. If you're going to pray to the God who claims that he's the only God and that prayer works, a lot of people want to go assume, that guy. See, if I prayed to White Keck right here, and I asked for 100 subscribers, and let's say give a month or so, I have 100 new subscribers. Watch it fucking happen. The people are like, see, you did magic on your channel and proved it. But if I prayed to White Keck every sunrise, and I was like, yo, bring me 100 subscribers, give or take month or so, and it happens, I have evidence that I have 100 subscribers, and I have evidence that I prayed to Keck. But do I have evidence that Keck did anything, or that Keck even exists? See, you can never actually match it up. And I don't remember exactly why I brought this up. We're gonna keep Keck right here. He's gonna hang out. He's gonna hang out with us for a while. I really don't even want to call him Keck. That's a really cringy name. I need a new name. Leave me a name down below. If you give me bullshit, I'm sorry. It's Keck from here on out. But either way, I remember why I brought that up. Contradictory claims. So let's say that Keck says that Keck's the only real one, and I prayed to Keck and it seemed that it works. But then you're praying to your God and it's working. Something's not right. And the same thing happens in the New Age with the different methods of healing or manifestation or anything like that. It can be anything. We'll do the chart one day, I promise. But it's like, which prayer and to whom and how does it work? Because they all conflict. And so what's right? Spoiler, not really any of it, because we've actually tested prayer under the telescope. Or I say telescope? I fucking said telescope. We've tested prayer under the microscope. And it works at the rate of chance. You might as well grab a coin and flip it. But the thing is that people aren't going to do that. People aren't going to flip a coin and say, should I cross the road? I might be safe if I hit heads. You're going to be just as correct as if you did a divination. Actually, depending on what type of divination, you might not actually have at the rate of chance. If you're doing tarot and only pulling one card, you're missing out on an opportunity of 77 other cards. Very bad chances to hope that you would be picking the correct card. Either way, I fucked up. I broke my rule. It's because Keck's here. This isn't an occult manifestation video. It's a law of attraction one. But these law of attractioners won't give up their little water reality transurfing, whatever the hell they go on about. They won't give it up. There's too much in manifestation. There's too much material out there. There's so much to give up. I know so much. It can't be fake. It can't all be bullshit. There's too much, and they talk about the psychology of it, and it's very hard to combat these things, because it's like cockroaches. You step on one claim and 20 others show up. Hitting it at the nest is what you really have to do, and that's kind of what I'm trying to get in this video. So if you haven't gotten that, unsubscribe. See, they say it feels good. What's wrong? What's wrong with it? If it feels good, it makes me happy. I have faith. See, it's better to feel like you know and you're right than to put your pet theory to the test. Because when it's put to the test and shown for what it's worth, it's negated. Now back to the parameter set that we were talking about in the beginning of the video. First is mindset and perspective. Second is intent. And third is emotion, belief, and feeling. Now, number 2 and 3 essentially tie into one to create your reality, to have this snug idea in your head fit into 3-dimensional space somehow through synchronicity. And it really seems like this is what's happening at a basic level when you do it. And that's the thing, because I can pull the truth out of anything, out of any situation or experience, and I can run off with it. And that's why you should be very wary about people that are talking about beliefs and feelings and intents, because they can really do anything with it at that point. There's nothing you can't have faith in. I have faith in Keck. I have faith that Keck told me you're wrong. Fuck you! But your mindset isn't just based off of your feelings and your intent and all of those other things that they talk about. Surely they do go into it, but it's not just that. And they take these little mini facts that they like to pick out, and not the facts of psychology that debunk their shit, and they'll take those facts and they'll run off with them to the point of, claiming that they can split traffic like the Red Sea because they have foot oil on. Or they can drink water and receive $15,000 in the mail. Or banish their debt. See, it takes action. And when you add action, when you add this parameter, you can really do anything. This is pretty self-evident, you'd think, but at this point, when you add this parameter, all of your work, all of your action gets funneled down into this little theory, into this little bottle of magic, this little bottle of manifestation. And that's really what it is. See, if I slap my girlfriend every morning that I wake up, thinking that it'll help manifest the job, no shit. Alright guys, so you're on the laptop now. I'm not letting a dead fucking camera get in the way of this video on Sunday. So, this is what I look like in my fucking videos. Sorry, I don't edit my videos. Keck does it for me. See, and I have the proof because the videos are up there. Duh. But, either way, I don't know if I got through with the idea, but if I wake up every morning and I slap my girlfriend across the face thinking that it'll manifest the job that I'm actively working towards, you would say that I'm a fool because I'm actively working towards that job. Slapping my girlfriend is having no effect on it. Now replace slapping my girlfriend with prayers, wishes, and thoughts. And it's the same thing. Funny enough, it is our circumstance that feeds into our beliefs, our perspective, mindset. It all kind of, it's a circled loop. And the law of attraction is to make you think that you would have manifested the thing that fed into it in the first place. See, a lot of us are influenced by our upbringing. Do we fucking manifest that? No. Because if manifestation were real, I probably need to hold this. Because if manifestation were real, there would be a lot less child abuse in this world. Because children really are the true believers out there. Because if you don't think that there are children out there that are actively praying for things to be fixed that aren't actually getting fixed, you're a dumbass. Why isn't it working? Oh, they just don't have it on their side. They didn't pray hard enough. They didn't. Dude, that shit pisses me off. But what about rape and incest victims? Did they not have manifestation on their side? Yeah, let's go back to manifestation equals prayer. You really want to claim that now? I think that if you want to do a good job for the law of attraction or manifestation, please kick prayer out of it. It's going to do you more harm to your theory than anything else. Nothing fails like prayer. Let's pray for America. But you don't think that those children in abusive households are praying every single night for something? You don't think the children in the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital that's just about a half hour away from here, you don't think any of them or their entire families don't have thoughts, prayers, and belief and so much faith that it's going to fucking get better? Why are all these people on YouTube? Why aren't they actually out there actively helping people? Or at least actively working to figure out the theory, to figure the real shit out? Because what you're putting out is not enough. It's bullshit. You don't think that the men and women that are in abusive relationships, who are getting beaten every single day, because a lot of those people aren't even talking about it, and you don't think that they're hoping for a miracle, praying? You don't think that by now that somebody like that has come across the law of attraction? There's still, there's I don't know. I don't know exactly the details on what I'm about to say. I will come back, though. I will find what I'm talking about, and I'll probably be back to mention it in the next video. But apparently, I think it was over like in Europe somewhere, there was a lady who was like raped by her father for like 22 years or something. You don't think in those 22 years she had enough belief, intent, or feeling for it to fucking stop? What are your answers? If you're someone out there who's a law of attractioner, what do you have to think about this? I really want to know. I never have the answers to that shit. And if you do, I want to fucking know. If you have the proof out there for something to fix something like this, what are you doing? Because, if you're just preaching to the choir, you ain't doing nothing good. Come show me some shit. And I can go on and on and on, but most of those people don't focus on those problems. There are some out there. Very, very fucking few. They aren't doing too much of a good job now, but as I said, they're doing better off than a majority of all these fucking believers out there. And a lot of I don't even know, depending on who you are, you might not even know about, I think it's Miracle Power, Prayer Miracle something. It's something about miracle prayers. It's basically a Christian version of Law of Attraction. The lady who actually wrote that book, who did that thing, she said that Jesus channeled into her and told her to write it. Which there's some sketchy little conspiracy about it and about the guy that helped her, and he was an FBI agent, but trash that for now. She fell into very deep depression at the very end of her life, and she regretted writing the book all in all. You would think that, some authority or prophet in this matter would have had this miracle power. What happened? I think she realized, it seems that this works, but this isn't the case. This isn't it. It may be out there. Manifestation may be real, but we have not fucking found it. You have not found it. And if you have found it, and you just want to see, because as I said, we're going to get into the occult side, because the occultists, they're about keeping silent. They're assholes. Spoiler alert, not all of them. I actually do meet pretty cool occultists most of the time, and the ones that do watch this channel are actually pretty understanding, and I fucking love that. I hope you aren't offended by some of the things I say. I'm just trying to be a little funny, but I am going to be talking about a majority. I'm going to be talking about who you think I'm talking about. Because if you're watching this and none of it applies to you, I'm obviously not talking about you. As I am getting back to the topic, the majority of them don't focus on those problems. They focus on things like they want to get you laid, money, the job, the car, the vacation, happiness, lower anxiety. None of which show any help, because we all know that at the end of the day, money, job, getting laid, sex, none of these things really make us happy. Even the pursuit of happiness is like it's a weird happiness high, but it still doesn't settle the internal battery. You have to find those waves, and they change as you change. If you found a way to keep yourself happy, it ain't there forever. I promise you, and a lot of you probably fucking know that already. But money, happiness, jobs, things of those are very common things that happen regardless, whether you're a person who's doing magic or not doing magic. I've heard a few of you repeating that mantra of mine that I was saying, you can't tell the difference between a person doing magic and not doing magic. So then what's the point? Somebody's wasting more time doing something that the other's not. Whoa, oh, dude, I wish I had some of those memes on deck that are like, while you were while you were studying and working towards your dream job, I was in the closet masturbating to alphabets. But when it comes to these things like money, jobs, and things like that, when it gets good, it's like, wow, the powers worked. And the thing is that these are simple things to manifest and get these are simple things, not to manifest, scratch that. These are simple things to keep people believing and not questioning, because if they started focusing on the big problems, like we're talking about crime, I mentioned in the last video, transcendental meditation is all about lowering the crime rate, and we see how that's not worked. See, if you focus on the big problems, your shit falls through. So what do we focus on? We focus on things people are getting on the regular: money, sex, jobs. And let's attribute it to what we're doing. Let's attribute it to slapping my girlfriend. Let's attribute it to petting little Keki over here. Oh, by the way, yes, that is one of those, you draw a man on a speaker, and I drew 6'9". It's actually really, hold on, you gotta see it. Yeah, it's kind of been roughed up a little bit. Not gonna lie, because it's over there on the bookshelf, and so all the expo has come off of it. But yeah. Tell me the job you think I did. I kind of fucked up a little. Either way, we'll put him here. You're going back where you fucking belong, boy. Though you had your time and fucking freedom. At the end of the day, I've said all I need to say for now. The camera's fucking died at this point. It's time for me to go. I've got more to go over on this, actually a lot more. We're going to honestly be going over this quite a bit. As I said, I got some good feedback about it. Someone was mentioning I helped them snap out of superstitious thinking, things like that. I think that's great for the time being. So news. So yeah, as I said, I plan to go over the more of these videos. I'm actually going to go over some things that Frater said. It's going to be in a different light than what I was going over on the live stream. I'm not going to just be like all like... But yeah, we're going to go over perspective cults a lot. I've actually hit up a few people who have law of attraction channels, telling them that I would be making some rebuttals to some of the things that they say. So for all I know, they could still be watching this channel. And if you're one of them, please comment, because I've forgotten a few of the ones that I've actually hit up. And so it's going to be hard to find those, because I'm going to have to go way back in my YouTube history to find it. Speaking of cults, we are going to eventually go over cults a little bit more often. If you do want to find out more, you should really go over and check out Genetically Modified Skeptic. He'll talk a lot about the Young Living oils and other things like that. He had a Christian upbringing, but I think you should definitely check that out if you want to just hop on the bandwagon. I mean, hop on there. I don't know what the fuck I was saying. Hop on early. Be the early bird and learn about occults before I start giving my stupid opinion on it. But other than that, what do we got going on? People suck. We had some people lined up. I'm gonna be honest. So I had Dean Graciosi lined up. I stopped following on him, so I'm scratching that. There was a few things that happened that were sketchy. He apparently he. We'll go over that if I end up doing it. I want to go over Alex Mayer again. That video got a lot of views, so damn yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of more views again. Who wouldn't? No, I want to bring him up because I found some more stuff on him. Funny enough, he's got like an F grade on the Better Business Bureau. Frederick Xavier. He might, just because of, I've done it on Angelo, whoever the, Crack Your Bible chick, I forget her name. Bible chick girl, Rachel Stevens, yes, oh my god, that name gives me a headache. But we're going to be going over Rachel Stevens. No, we're not. We're going to be going over Frederick Xavier possibly, because I've gone over Alex Mayer and Rachel Stevens, and I don't remember who else, but I'd say he fits the bill a little bit better than they do, depending on, I'll show you what I mean. But There's not many people doing this. That's why I kind of want to focus on this. Nobody's talking about these sort of things, and nobody's making any rebuttals to certain things like this or of this nature. Getting out of spirituality was a tough thing to do on my own. Sure, I could get some help from people who had left things that were similar, but I can't find any ex-spiritual or ex-cultist people, and so I kind of do want to be that guiding light for people who need that or kind of want to help out. Or who can relate and are going through similar things. As I said, that guy said, you helped me, you snapped me out of spooky thinking. Not many people are doing this. I better be back next Sunday. If I'm not, go over to Jack Queen's channel. He just hit 100 subscribers. So go over there, tell him I said hey. This coming up Saturday, I'm going to be going to an event, and that might be what the next video is based off of, so it may be late, but I'm going to try to get something out by next Sunday, if anything. Other news, yes, we may have a live guest soon. Nothing set in stone. It's a blank page now. That's it, guys. It's over. I will for you all to prosper. And have a great day.